Well, good morning guys, and welcome back to the channel. Unfortunately, no Nicola this week. She's actually had to go down to Dublin for the day. But we're once again back out exploring local, and just actually at a little sort of park up. I love this little park up. I quite often come here when I've got a little bit of work to do and I can just sort of have an office with a beautiful view overlooking White Park Bay with Ballintoy out to my right, your left, and then the path out towards Dunseverick and over the Causeway Coast to my left. But yeah, I'm just finishing off a cup of coffee, and then we'll start heading back along the Causeway Coast, popping into a couple of other areas. But yeah, it's beautiful up here. Bit nippy though, so head back into the van again and finish my coffee. Well, welcome down to White Park Bay. I was actually just parked up above there having my coffee. Love this beach. Again, doesn't get a huge amount of footfall because I think people kind of go straight from Ballintoy maybe on to the Giant's Causeway. Notorious, I don't think it's safe for swimming, but still a beautiful place to come and get blown about a little bit. So we'll take a wander on down to the beach, which during the summer months, I think it is just during the summer months, you quite often can find some cattle grazing on the sand as well, which I know a lot of the tourists who come here get a bit of a kick out of. But we'll wander down to the beach and have a bit of an explore. So behind me here, now this whole stretch of beach, at low tide you can actually make your way right the way along from Ballintoy. So guys, just very quickly jumping in from the future, I appear to have lost a little bit of footage from down there in White Park Bay. What I was trying to say was there's a really nice coastal path that actually leads from Ballintoy right the way across White Park Bay and then over to that little sort of settlement at Portballintrae. Not quite sure whether that's me or the van. Park at Ballintoy, you can actually make your way out to Carrickreed, as we said last week, but then come the other way and you're actually able to make it all the way across to Portballintrae. Back to current past Nigel. And I'm going to go and try to sort my squeaks out. So we have now come along to Portballintrae. Now, I'm actually not going to record any footage from the Giant's Causeway. A couple of reasons for that. Number one, you'll be able to find lots of footage of the Giant's Causeway out there. It's probably one of the most, if not the most visited site here on the Causeway Coast. And for good reason, it is beautiful. But it's a National Trust location. I'm not currently a member, so don't really fancy paying the money. Apologies for that. What you can, however, do, and what I would actually recommend, is coming around and parking here at Portballintrae and then walking the coastal path. You can either walk the full coastal path or you can actually cut up through via the railway line. It's probably about a half an hour's walk or so. Now, the one disappointing thing I have noticed since the last time I was here is they've now put up height barriers in Portballintrae car park, which is very frustrating. Not least, I'm sure, during the summer months it's going to be frustrating for the residents there because people will want to come and visit Portballintrae and they'll bring their motorhomes down and they'll have to park on the side of the street. So that's a little bit of an oversight from the council. Anyway, I would still come down here, park up and make your way actually walking out towards the causeway. But what we'll do, we're not going to walk out to the causeway today. We're just going to do a little bit of an explore here in and around Portballintrae. So this behind me, you can probably just make it out here on the headland. I think it's Runkerry House it's called. I think it's now private apartments, private dwellings, very posh. But this is the way that you would go. You could either walk on out the headland, and it's probably about a 20-minute, half an hour walk to the causeway, or you can head straight up through. I'm not sure whether you'll be able to make that out, but somewhere up in there is the causeway. It's probably only about a 10-minute walk, maybe going this way. Going straight through. So my advice certainly would be, I mean, obviously if you're a National Trust member, then go ahead and park up there. But actually, again, getting a real appreciation for the coastline that the Giant's Causeway sits on. Come around, park in Portballintrae, and then meander. Give yourself sort of maybe 3-4 hours to kind of meander up the coastline, explore the Giant's Causeway, and then meander back. But just be aware that there are now height barriers in Portballintrae car park. Well, this is as far as I'm going to go along this way. I'm going to start wandering back into Portballintrae again, and we'll see what we can find. We've always loved this little cottage down here. Looks fantastic with the stormy seas. Just one little bit of little bonus tip if you ever come to Portballintrae, and especially if you come on a Sunday. The Bushfoot Golf Club, or basically Portballintrae Golf Club, does the most incredible carvery on a Sunday. So yeah, little bonus bit of information there. So I'm just parked up the road here, as you can see. I'm going to jump in the van and we shall mosey on. But definitely come down, park up in Portballintrae and explore the area, including visiting the Giant's Causeway. So guys, it's actually the morning after the day before. Weather got the better of me yesterday. And remember I said at the start of the vlog there was no Nicola in this one? Well, can't keep a good thing down, eh?
He invited me actually. I was busy doing other stuff, so...
Yes. Other stuff that we'll talk about in an upcoming vlog. Other stuff that's getting someone a little bit... Anxious. Oh, big plans, big plans. Anyway, new day. And we've actually brought ourselves up to Magheracross. Yes, I recorded that little piece mid-vlog from here, and that's me still squeaking in the background.
It's a little bit concerning, the noises.
The van's about to kind of roll off. Yeah, we're up in the Magheracross viewpoint. This is actually a whole new development. This used to be sort of quite a rundown car park, but they've actually made a couple of really nice changes to it. So, although I now see that it's clouding over and the rain's about to start, so yeah.
It is just throwing it down actually. And just to explain, the creek's really, really windy here.
Yes, we're in for a...
As if on cue.
Are you sure that's not you? I wasn't doing this yesterday whenever you weren't here.
I'm hoping we're going to wait for the rain to pass before we're forced out of the van.
We'll go and wait for the rain to stop first of all. Catch up in a minute.
Oh my
word. It's a little bit windy.
That's really strong. Oh my word.
So this is one of the that I'm standing on right now. Hopefully you can hear me in that wind. But they built this out that actually overlooks Dunluce Castle. Ooh. It's quite nice actually because it is sort of makes you feel like you're kind of out overlooking the cliff face.
It is actually a really lovely view of Dunluce from here because you don't
nice.
really get, apart from when you're driving past on the road, it's quite hard to stop and see it.
Yeah.
So it's actually really nice.
Beautiful, as I say. I'll show you now. You get a bit of a nice view of Dunluce Castle.
I was just about to say actually, I took my brother when he came to visit round it. I hadn't been in, gosh, 20 years. And it's really, really worth it. It's not expensive and it's really interesting. So if you've got time, definitely worth going in.
Exactly.
I was waiting for the sun to come out to see if it would light up Dunluce, because it's really lovely in the sun.
Waiting for the sun
no,
to come out.
No, the cloud is moving. It is moving past. You never know.
Place bet now. Will the sun come out before my hand freezes off?
I'm usually wrong, so I doubt it. In a rare moment, I was right.
You was right. The sun is coming out. In fact, you can probably just see it a little bit on the Skerries and down in the Portrush. But yeah, here comes the sun. Coming to the Causeway Coast at this time of year is fantastic because you get a real appreciation of the wildness of it.
You took my hood off. You need a big coat when it's like this.
The only problem with your big coat is it catches all of the wind. Let's enjoy this in the sunshine, if not the warmth.
Oh, it's lovely.
Dusty.
I actually got pushed backwards.
Seriously, it's your jacket. It kind of
at least if I fell off a cliff, it might act as a parachute.
The size of that hood. That is a ridiculously sized hood.
But I don't care because it's keeping me warm.
It's true that. To be fair, it's so big, it's also keeping part of me warm as well.
I think it's detached itself from the coat though. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, it might well take
blow
off.
away. This is Magheracross.
Who killed Kenny?
This is Magheracross viewpoint, and it's definitely worthwhile coming up. You just might want to come here on a slightly less windy day.
Yes. I'm just trying to reattach my hood.
Oh my goodness me.
Oh,
and actually you probably heard some of the sort of whistling as well. That's obviously the wind going through all of the bars, but yeah, that's a little, certainly no drone flying out of there. So right, back to the van and moving on. But yeah, come here again, park up, good place to come for a picnic, although it might get blown away.
I must just apologise, I just realised I was huffing and puffing on the way back there, so you probably got my audio.
Trust me, the amount of post editing I need to do on the audio whenever you've got your own mic is it's a full-time job. Right, into the van. That was a little bit windy. Oh man.
Yeah, it got to the point it wasn't actually that enjoyable being out there.
Yeah, but I said at least your hood kind of partly covers part of my face as well. So, oh, we're back to squeaky van as well. Right, let's mosey on. Oh,
I think we've literally just got in before the rain again.
The rain's coming back through again, so. Right. So we have now brought ourselves across to Portstewart. And this was actually, whenever we used to come up to the Causeway Coast as kids, I grew up in Belfast. This walk used to be a little bit more dodgy than it is now. They put all health and safety barriers and everything in, but it can still be quite a bracing walk to do around the Dominican, the old. Well, I used to get told it was a nunnery. I think it was a nunnery.
Yeah, I think it was.
No, it's a school. So, but yeah, I'm not sure whether you caught her little quip there. We're literally about to start recording something, and out of the blue, she just goes,
"We should go for the Ramore £5 lunch. It's so tasty."
I mean, I'm not arguing with that. So yeah, let's go for the Ramore. You mean now?
Well, after we finished here.
Ooh.
I'm starving.
Ramore £5 lunch. Oh, they are pretty strong waves, and we're getting battered by a lot of foam as well. But yeah, really lovely walk to do. And again, this is actually where the Causeway coastal route officially finishes, Portstewart Strand. So if you do end up doing the whole of the Causeway coastal route, or even part of it, the chances are you will be walking on this coastal path as well. But yeah, back in the day, it didn't have any barriers or anything. I remember it was always somewhere that my mum was like, "No, can't go there."
One good thing, if you do finish up here, there's like 20 million coffee shops.
She's clearly hungry.
Well, actually not 20 million, but there are a lot.
Fancy a swim?
Definitely not.
Wow. We were just talking about the balcony up here. Do you reckon it has a bit of a salt issue?
Wow, some big ones coming in there.
So Nicola just called me over and asked if I'd seen the big blowhole. I thought she was talking about me for a minute, to be fair.
Massive wave just come in there, massive.
And we're actually still about 3 hours before high tide, so I reckon this is going to get pretty. Portstewart does actually, the harbour does get pretty blasted by the big waves. So.
Wow. I think this is the stormiest I've ever seen it though. And I didn't even know it had a blowhole till today.
Really good place to sort of end your Causeway coastal walk here in Portstewart. And as Nicola said, you do have close to 20 million cafes to take your pick from. The coastal walk between Portrush and Portstewart is
lovely.
really nice as well.
If you stick right to the actual coastal path, it's beautiful.
Yeah, just because you don't get hit in the head by a golf ball.
Yes.
Because you have to walk across a couple of the golf courses. But yeah, stunning. And it's been really good to familiarise ourselves again with the Causeway Coast. It's been really, really nice to sort of do this here. So
it's like anywhere, when you live somewhere a long time, you forget how beautiful it can be.
You do indeed.
We should have got out more often.
Cool. Well, once again, what I'll do is I'll put up a few chapters below with the what 3 words location, just in case you're thinking of doing the Causeway Coast at some point.
Sorry, that's another massive blow. I'm fascinated by that.
Nicola's fascinated by blowholes. We'll probably complete this little trilogy of videos next week when we'll do a little bit more of local and once again showcase the beauty that the Causeway Coast has here. And of course, again, we're only doing half of the Causeway coastal route. All down all the way to Belfast is also just as beautiful. So I wonder if someone's still up for a Ramore £5 lunch.
I can't wait to check it on Facebook, see whether it's still on.
And then we'll go for a swim. Right guys, well once again, thanks a lot for following along, and just as that sun is disappearing behind a cloud, until next time.
Oh bye, sorry, I'm waiting for the next blow.
I'll wait for her then. See you later guys.